So it's my niece's 4th birthday, and I'm, of course, in charge of the cake. And so today I'm going to share with you on Sweet Talk some important cake tips. Cake tip number 1, prepare your pan appropriately. I've already messed this up the first time I tried to make this cake, even though I knew better. But what you need to do when you make a cake is you need to spray the bottom of the pan, and then take your parchment paper and cut out an exact size parchment paper circle or square for your pan. It's very, very important. And you slide that right in, just right there. And then you can take your spray and just spray it a little more. And then your cake will not stick. That's super important. Tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to make sure you cream the butter and the sugar for a really, really, really long time. Some recipes just say cream it. Well, when you're making cookies or something, sometimes a little bit is okay. When you're making a cake, the amount of time you spend creaming the butter and sugar makes your cake fluffier. So if you want a big, fluffy, really awesome cake, you want to cream your butter and sugar for a long time. Seriously, with a stand mixer like this, just set it up, hit go, and 6 to 8 minutes, come back later. Like literally that long. Another tip is if you're ever working with liquid ingredients, make sure you're using a liquid ingredient measuring cup. It does make a difference. Even though 1 cup is 1 cup, a cup of flour and the dry measuring cups you might use for that, something that looks like this, doesn't measure exactly the way that something looks like this does. That's why we have dry measuring cups and liquid measuring cups. So when you need 1 cup of milk for your lovely birthday cake, you can see it just a little bit better. It's a little more exact, and you don't want to have too much liquid in your cake. Tip number 4 is about scraping the bowl, especially with a mixer like this. This is an awesome, super cool stand mixer, but it does this thing where it builds everything up on the sides. I don't know how well you can see that, but like right here. So there's all this flour and stuff that's not mixed in. So that's when it's really important to get into your stand mixer with your spatula, and just mix the sides down. This is especially important because when you go to pour your cake, or if you're making cookies, you're just not going to have consistency. Now, especially with this cake, since I am making it orange for Miss Madeline's 4th birthday, so I'm going to put the food coloring in, and even more so, you just want everything to be the same, because you don't want like a dark orange part and a light orange part, but everything to be the same orange. Same goes with frosting, so scrape the sides of the bowl. And kind of the most important, especially for decorating purposes, about making cakes, is to make sure your cake will bake level. Now you can buy like weird strips that you put on the outside of your pans to make them bake level, but really the trick, which I learned from Paula Deen, is kind of my favorite part. You take your pan and you slam it on the table or slam it on the floor or on some sort of flat surface. And I don't know how well you can see this, but this is the one that's yet to be slammed. And this is the one that already has and is super flat and ready. So I'm going to bake the cakes. They're going to be perfectly level, and these two are going to be exactly the same so that I can stack them. And that will make baking this cake a whole lot easier. So thank you for watching Sweet Talk Live today. I hope you learned some tips about cake baking. Remember, I'm here if you need me, and you want to make an orange cake that bakes perfectly. I'll come over and help you out.